I mean, yes, if you're looking statistically, as we just said earlier, in terms of getting to the latter stages of tournaments, it is progression. When I interviewed Steve Holland the other week, that's what he talked about. He talked about consistently being in the final stages of tournaments means you're giving yourself a chance on one of those cases to get over the line.
Yeah.
And that made sense. And it is progression in that respect. But when you look at the opposition we've got, we're at home, the confidence we're playing with, the quality we have on the pitch, the team we're coming up against in the semi-final, if we were to lose to Denmark, I think most supporters, if not all, and the players and the manager would be absolutely devastated. Yeah.
Would you think similarly, Simon, if they go out to Denmark, be like, oh, that was all for nothing?
Yeah, I mean, when I talked to you about national disgrace and national embarrassment about not getting to a semi-final, I stopped at semi-final because I assumed we'd draw the Dutch there. Now, this tournament has opened up, and I'm not suggesting that the Danish shouldn't be taken seriously. What I will be is looking at we have an opportunity, and in life you get opportunities, and if you don't take them, you have every right to be disappointed. You cannot go into a tournament, have a qualifying group with the most difficult game in it was the Scots, come past the Czech Republic, come past the Croatians, get a very weakened German side, get the Ukrainians, and get the Danes in the semi-final, and then not progress and think it's not an opportunity missed. It won't be horrific. It'll just be disappointing, and there's nothing worse than being disappointed, because that ultimately is almost, you start to feel pity for yourselves and walk around in pity. We have an opportunity which we should take. It's not ramping up the expectation and getting ahead of ourselves and English fans being given it a big one like people accuse us of arrogant entitlement. You are home in a tournament against a side that is massively ranked beneath you, that isn't a great side, is a decent side, tragically have lost their best player through the circumstances that unfold that may inspire them to a certain level.
Yeah.
We're playing in front of 60,000 expectant fans demanding that the national team deliver a performance. If they perform, which I think they will, they'll beat the Danish.
You see, I'm looking at the messages, Simon, coming in this morning, and Danny, there is a cautious optimism out there. No one's saying, yep, this is going to be the week. There is a cautious optimism. Anthony Holmes, yeah, it's all going well. Southgate has managed to change the mental attitude of the players. They're where they should be mentally going into this. There's another message there. The right people are in the right places. Southgate is the right man for the job. Dan Ashworth has been involved. He's played a significant role in the development of the pool of players that he's got and this squad. As it stands, says this listener, as it stands, England are exactly where they should be. Are they? Exactly where they should be. On the brink.
Well, they can't do much more than they've done.
Yeah.
And get to the place where they are. There's so many aspects over the last 3-5 years. So many things that have gone into the success they've achieved. So many different things you could talk about. You know, the fact Gareth getting the job in the first place changed the dynamic. The way the FA have changed the structure of the England youth teams and it being all more cohesive and running. You know, they're all the communications, but everything runs concurrently. There's so many aspects of it that have been improved to produce this type of performance. You know, you had success in the 17s or the 19s World Youth Cup and things like everything's been progressing steadily.
St George's has been the fulcrum of that, hasn't it?
Yeah, St George's is another thing. Yeah, great point. Football is always about small percentages and tiny details. All the best managers used to tell me that. And in the big tournaments, those tiny little details and small percentages need to go with you, and then everything's fine. You know, you get but Gareth's done what Gareth's done for me, and the biggest thing in the squad's development for me is that you see a group of players, and it's changed from when I used to be involved in England squads. I believe, and other players have said this. You've got a group of players who all want to be there. They're all together. It feels like, anyway. I'm not inside the camp, so I don't know for sure, but it seems like they're together. There's a freedom generally with the way they play. A lot of the players expressing themselves how they do at club level. There's not this. The little cliques you get at England in the past, that doesn't seem to be there. You've got a nice crossover. There's a unity. And I think that Gareth has also produced a better dynamic with the press for the players. I don't think there's the same bandwagon of negativity.
So all points in the right direction. Yeah. Mark Dolman's agreeing with you, Danny. Having said that, he says, if we go out now, though, if England go out now, it would not constitute progression. That's where progression would stop, in his view. Yeah,
because we've been there before, is what he means. So you're plateauing, aren't you? But it's one game at a time. Look, moving on to the football, you can look at how we've got there, but what's ahead? Right. You've got a Denmark side that plays a very on the front foot game, a philosophy of on the front foot football. high tempo, high energy, wing backs who are both flying machines.
Yeah.
3 at the back, all got experience, talking Christensen, Chelsea, Milan captain Kier, and you've got Vestergaard from Southampton. And you've got these 2 wing backs that love flying forward. Mailer's been one of the players of the tournament.
He's been brilliant.
He's a right-footed left wing back. So for me, the big thing again for England is tactically, what do we do?
Right.
Do we match up like the Germans and give them the respect they deserve and go, or do we go, actually, we've just beat Ukraine 4-0, playing a system we're used to playing. We've got so much talent. We're going to go on the front foot with 60,000 behind us, and we're coming after you for the first 20 minutes.
Well, we'll get into that in a second, because it's a good point. People are debating what the best approach should be. Gabe is a big Chelsea fan who wants a quick word with us. Gabe, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
No bother. Where's your thought process with England and Southgate going into this week?
I just go back to what Danny just said then regarding the play style. I think the most important thing for these last 2 games, if we can get to the final, is that Southgate finds a balance between the defence that he played in the group stage and the attacking sort of sense that we saw the other night against Ukraine.
Yeah.
But going to Salmon as well, we mustn't write off the determination of Denmark due to everything that happened beforehand. They must be so driven as to getting this far, because obviously we wouldn't really expect them to get to a semi-final.
Yeah.
But they're going to be in the exact same position as us with regards to they're going to just be going for it as much as they can.
And if England were to go out, Gabe, to the Danes, and I know you don't want to hear that, do you rip up all progress? Is that all progress gone?
I'd probably say no, because if you look at going back to the stats earlier, saying that we haven't conceded yet, we scored 8 goals and we've got this far. I'd say that in terms of Southgate's progression, this tournament has been good. But if he gets himself to the final and wins it, obviously, then people's perception of him will just change drastically. So
absolutely, yeah, I'm with you, Gabe. Thanks for that, Jim, Tottenham fan. Let's squeeze you in before the break. Jim, good morning.
All right, Jim.
Hi, mate. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. I just came on all these England fans, or some anyway, some I know, saying, Southgate should stay. If we get knocked out anyway, I just think we've literally beaten every team we expected to beat. We're at home. I don't want to be negative or anything, but yeah, I just think it's just silly people saying, "Oh yeah, we're like."
You think you think a lot of England fans are getting carried away? Maybe you've done what was expected of you.
Yeah, well, no, I think not carried away, because I think our team's good enough to win anyway. But if we don't beat Denmark, it'd be a disaster. We're at home. I mean, Denmark aren't the best team. Obviously, they've lost key players. Yeah. So I just can't see why it would be a success.
Okay, Jim, thanks for that. A disaster?
Well, I would say that it's got to be a massive disappointment. And we have to also acknowledge the fact that Gareth has done everything that's been put in front of them. They haven't conceded a goal, but they haven't been asked many questions. And with the greatest respect in the world, we played against the Ukrainians a bit more offensive because that opportunity was afforded us.
Yep.
And the opposition enabled us, right? Gareth will revert against the Danish to being cautious because that's his default setting and show them due respect. But let's be clear while we're having this moment to share. If we do not beat the Danish in a semi-final of a European Championship where all roads have led us, even playing away against Ukraine helped us. It helped give the players a break from the expectation and the pressure and all of that. Yes, it will be a bloody disappointment.
Okay.
Well, let's also get it right. Gareth knows that.
Yeah.
He's a very clever guy. He knows that this game is one they expect to win and we should win.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.